Welcome back, fellow seekers of the strange and mysterious, to another journey into the shadows of history. Tonight we delve into a story that drifts between life and death, fame and obscurity. A tale born from the murky waters of the Seine, only to ripple through time and touch countless lives. It's a tale of tragedy, beauty, and an unexpected legacy. Prepare yourself, because this story will captivate you with its eerie beauty and surprising connections to the world we live in today. Our story begins in Paris, sometime in the late 1880s. It was a time when the city was both a hub of artistic brilliance and a stage for human suffering. On what might have seemed an ordinary day, a lifeless young woman was pulled from the depths of the Seine. The river, often romanticized for its beauty, has long borne witness to untold tragedies, and this girl was no exception. She appeared to be no older than 16, her serene face untouched by violence or harm. Her expression was enigmatic, peaceful yet haunting, as though caught between a final sigh and the silence of eternity. It was presumed she had drowned, possibly by her own hand. A tragic suicide, some thought, though we'll never truly know. Despite efforts to identify her, no name surfaced, no grieving family came forward, and no one claimed her body. In a bustling city of millions, she became a symbol of anonymity, a life lived and lost without leaving a trace. Yet what makes her story remarkable is not how it began, but what followed, a legacy that defies logic and spans centuries. Like many strange tales, this one begins in a place most of us would avoid: the morgue. But in the late 19th century Paris, the morgue wasn't just a somber resting place for the dead, it was one of the city's most bizarre attractions. Nestled near the iconic Notre Dame Cathedral, the morgue served not just the purpose of identifying the unclaimed dead, but also acted as a public spectacle. Yes, you heard that right. Thousands of locals and tourists alike visited this grim exhibit daily. Behind large glass panels, freshly recovered bodies were displayed, often clothed, as a way to help the living identify missing loved ones. But not everyone came for such noble reasons. Some arrived out of morbid curiosity, drawn to the macabre theatre of death. It was a grim paradox. A city so celebrated for its art and culture also found fascination in the tragedy of others. Among the many unclaimed bodies that passed through the morgue's doors, one stood out. The girl from the Seine wasn't like the others. Her face captivated the crowds. She exuded a beauty that transcended her death, her features frozen in an expression so serene it seemed to defy the tragedy of her end. People whispered about her in hushed tones. Who was she? What had led her to this fate? The mystery only deepened her allure. Her beauty, her peace, and the enigma of her existence moved one morgue worker to do something extraordinary. He made a plaster cast of her face, creating a death mask. At the time, such practices were not unheard of, but this particular mask became something far greater than a simple memorial. The reasons for this act are unclear. Was it admiration for her beauty? A desire to preserve the mystery that surrounded her? Or was it an unconscious acknowledgement of the profound effect she seemed to have on those who saw her? Regardless, this simple act of preservation would be the catalyst for an extraordinary legacy. Soon, copies of her mask began to appear, not just in the morgue, but in homes and studios throughout Paris. Artists were drawn to her ethereal expression, seeing in her the same enigmatic allure that has made the Mona Lisa a subject of endless fascination. Writers and poets wove tales around her, imagining lives she might have lived, loves she might have lost, and the sorrow that led her to the Seine. Her death mask became an icon. She was dubbed l'Inconnue de la Seine, the unknown woman of the Seine, and became a muse for some of the greatest creative minds of the 19th and 20th centuries. But her story doesn't end with art and admiration. Decades later, in the 1950s, her face would find a new, unexpected purpose, one that would transform her from a tragic figure into a life-saving icon. At the time, a new technique was being developed to revive people whose hearts had stopped. CPR. But teaching this life-saving skill posed a challenge. Doctors needed a way to train others, and a realistic mannequin was the solution. Enter Asmund Lærdal, a Norwegian toy manufacturer who was tasked with creating such a mannequin. Lærdal remembered seeing the death mask of the unknown woman of the Seine. Her serene, gentle expression seemed perfect for the purpose. Using her likeness, he created CPR Annie, the CPR training mannequin that has since been credited with saving countless lives. Today, the face of the unknown woman of the Seine is recognized worldwide, even if her name and story remain a mystery. She is often called the most kissed face in history, as millions have pressed their lips to hers in training to save lives. Her journey, from a nameless girl pulled from the Seine to a muse for artists and a savior of lives, is a testament to the unpredictable paths a life or even a death can take. She reminds us that even in anonymity, there is the potential for profound impact. Perhaps this is why her story resonates so deeply. She represents the duality of human existence, the fragility of life, and the enduring legacy that even the most forgotten among us can leave behind. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the strange and mysterious. The unknown woman of the Seine may have passed into history, but her story lives on, touching lives in ways no one could have imagined. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another strange story. Let us know in the comments what mystery you'd like us to explore next. Until next time, stay curious and keep uncovering the unknown.